of the business, put their championship title belts on John Laurinaitis' desk, and said, we'll catch you down the road. The response by WWE has been really weird to do this like all out in the open and to say, you know what? You're suspended indefinitely. What's that, Vince? Okay, yeah, my earpiece here. And we're having a tournament to determine the new women's tag team championships.
We thought they would do that. That's not surprising. Oh, why are we acting surprised by this?
Man,
we thought that's what was going to happen. I mean, honestly, let me play devil's advocate for a minute.
All right.
Do I understand why they walked out? I understand. Like I said, if my brand, if A&B Combos decides that we're gonna contract with somebody in the future, and then they decide to switch up, and we feel like they're damaging our brand, I think we may do the same thing. This is our brand. This is our future. This is our livelihood. And WWE has ruined many wrestlers' careers along the way. We could name them if you'd like. Karrion Kross, The Fiend, Eric Rowan. I mean, so here's the thing. Devil's advocate is they if they did not do this, anybody would think they could just walk out whenever they wanted to when they didn't like how it was going, and there would be no repercussions. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, as parents, like if your kid, you know what I'm saying, like rebels and does something, there's going to be consequences.
So my question is this, and this is something that Jennifer Perrin had just asked. Thank you very much. There's been some talk about the possibility that this is all just one big work. Like we're just being duped and this is not real.
Just to have some story.
Do you honestly think that WWE will go to these lengths
to do this? It's not. I know it's not. You know why? Did we see this on video?
See what?
Did we see them put the belts on the desk on video?
No.
Then it's not a work. If it's a work, there would be a camera in the office watching them do this, and it would be dun dun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it behind closed doors. That's not a work.
You make a good point, because people said this about Cody Rhodes,
right,
and AEW, and I said until we see him in a WWE ring, I don't think I'm going to believe it. But I also don't necessarily think that AEW is going to go to this whole big thing about planting him in the airport before they go overseas. And
right.
Like it just seems.
But he wasn't overseas unless they just.
I'm saying like it seems like they wouldn't do all that just to like get over on us. You know what I mean?
I'm still not convinced that Cody is not a plant. They're sabotage.
Oh, come on, man. Now, do we think they'll go to Impact? Let me say this much.
Well, they're under contract. They're not out of contract just because they're suspended.
Their contract is supposedly up not too far into
the
future.
Sasha's is. What about Naomi?
Naomi as well.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think they have anything to lose. But here's the thing, though. I understand, and I said this, and I'm not saying this is right, but I'm simply saying, contractually, I'm gonna again, like you said, devil's advocate. Contractually speaking, WWE is in the business of sports entertainment.
Right.
They just happen to employ professional wrestlers to do this. But what WWE more than anything says is you jump when we tell you how high.
Don't any employers work that way?
Your job to whoever we tell you to job to, you pretty much do what we tell you to do, whether you like it or not. Now, back in the day, that wasn't necessarily. You didn't necessarily, depending on who you were. There were some wrestlers like Jake the Snake and Shawn Michaels. Like if you watch some behind the scenes stuff, there were times when they felt that they, as a brand, were going to be disrespected, lowered, and they were going to Vince like, "I'm not doing this. You're going to make me look like Boo Boo the Fool." And I'm not doing it.
Well,
then it's like, okay, well, let's work it out.
And that's the reality. Was it really that far gone? Did they do that first before they walked out? Did they sit down and say, we're not doing this? We're going to have to discuss this. Did they give them that opportunity before they walked out? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the missing part of the story because we really don't have all the information.
That is the question. We do know that Sasha Banks can be a little petty. Let's be honest. Just a little bit, right? A little shoulder, might be deserving of such. I don't know. Is she on the level of, say, a Becky Lynch, a Sasha, Flair, a Roman Reigns? Yeah,
Sasha,
she's a top dog.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. If Flair or Becky Lynch or Roman Reigns did the exact same thing, would the very next week would we see Michael Cole saying they would be suspended indefinitely? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever
know.
That's
what I want to know.
I don't think we'll ever know because I don't see that. I mean, Charlotte has thrown some fits about some things, but she still does what she's told and then leaves pissed off.
Yeah.
So she still does what she's contracted to do. And to play devil's advocate in this way, we were talking about Robert Downey Jr. not wanting to play Iron Man anymore, and how that wasn't really fair to the fans, right? And that how many actors, struggling actors, starving actors who would love the chance to play Iron Man, and then you play Iron Man and then you're so big that you're just like, I'm over this or whatever, and maybe it's not that, maybe there were other reasons, but it seemed like you don't care about the fans in that way when you walk away. And you could say the same thing for this. You walking away does not just affect Vince, it also affects us, because now our champions are gone. And we were very happy for you guys to be champions. We enjoyed seeing you guys, and you guys were getting the spotlight, and you did have titles around your waist.
Yeah.
And you really kind of took that for granted. Do you know how many wrestlers would love to be in WWE, let alone have some gold? So I feel like I can see both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? I really can.
Yeah, you can definitely see both sides of the coin, and I think there's something to be said because, again, as a company, you've got to run business. If you have a main event, and let's not kid ourselves, that 6-pack challenge as it stood with having the tag team champions in there was ridiculous. That was crap.
Well, I thought originally I misunderstood and thought that that the winner was going to get a chance at their title, not that the winner was going to get a chance at the women's title.
So you're going to go ahead and have the newly crowned tag team champions be separated. All of a sudden, somebody's going to go over on somebody else, and then you're going to have them try to put over the respective women's champions.
But were they going to actually give Naomi a title shot?
That's what it's supposed to be.
Then why would Naomi walk up? No, I'm saying, was it a legit title shot? Was it like Naomi was going to actually maybe have a run? Did she walk out on
a title shot? Not necessarily win the championship.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like they weren't really going to get there. There was not a chance that she was going to get the belt because she wouldn't have walked out on that. And I would hope Sasha wouldn't have walked out on that
Which
either.
Is the whole point of it was crap.
It was just going to have tension between them, and they haven't even been together that long.
Right. That's it. That's the whole point. So to put them in there when the women's tag team division is so paper thin as it is, why would you go ahead and separate your tag team champions?
So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think Lana should have walked out when she was being put through a table every single week and never got to redeem herself ever?
You took it there.
And then got fired. Should she have walked out?
Let's keep it real. That was some trash. That she just got beat down, never got a leg up.
And we all felt like they did that as punishment to Rusev.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, let's talk about this real quick. Isaiah, you say retire the women's tag team championships, and we have said no, because you need to invest in your women's division. I can't say this enough times. When you say you're no longer divas, you're on par with the men, then treat them exactly the same as the men. I mean, we just saw the Unification Championship match happen, so they were invested all in the men's division. But with the women, let's go ahead and separate you. And let's just go ahead and maybe we'll throw a couple of makeshift tag teams together. So now they're saying they're going to have a tag team tournament, and whoever is going to win will be the new champs. What teams? You got nothing. You got nobody.
Okay,
That's all I can say.
For the people who are upset that they got suspended, what do you think? Do you think WWE shouldn't do anything when their champs walk out right before a main event? Like, as a boss, your employees walk out right before a main event. Do you not think there should be consequences? I'm just curious.
We got a couple of super chats up in here. Sophie Dopey.
Hey,
thank you, Sophie Dopey. We appreciate you. Did you hear about Disney Plus rebooting Daredevil? Yes. And we are not mad. We are not mad. Let me be honest with you. I didn't want to get Disney Plus. Didn't want to do it.
It's a must.
But now it's a must. We were all in with the Star Wars. That hooked us. The Mandalorian. That's what got us. Dang it.
Hawkeye was good.
And now we're all in on Disney Plus. So I'm excited because you got to expand. I mean, we just finished watching Doctor Strange.
We just started on Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. So I mean, we are excited about that. Thank you, Sophie Dopey, for that super chat. Another super chat in here. Rubio, the Cocker Spaniel, coming back strong.
Hey, Rubio, coming at it.
And you say Edge needs to go to AEW. WWE is destroying his last few years.
What? I love this faction. I love this faction. First of all, I would not be surprised if Edge goes to AEW when he's done here, just to have another little moment, to shine in the ring with Christian. But honestly, this new faction got me excited. I love it. And
we do see, I saw some comments in here about Edge has been trolling on Twitter, throwing out like possible new people that might join.
Well, that's another thing, is that he knows how to, like, I'm saying, to do the behind the scenes, keeping us like you said, like dangling.
It has to happen. I think it has to happen.
I think it's kind of cool. I didn't think that he would come up with another. It's not like he already didn't have several runs, right? And he just came up with a whole new faction, a whole new thing, and it's great. And I think that's amazing.
I wonder though, like with Taker, like he retired, he had a 30-year career in WWE. Is the same thing going to be for Edge? Is Edge a loyalist like that? Like, no matter what, I'm going to end my career with WWE, or will he in fact moonlight over and move to AEW? I wonder that. He's an old school guy.
He is an old school guy, but I guess I kind of understand Undertaker. That's like another level. But WWE is not faithful to people. WWE is faithful to money makers. So it wouldn't make sense for any of them to be faithful to WWE over the love of professional wrestling as a whole. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any kind of sense to me. I don't understand fans who only want to watch WWE. Are you only a fan of WWE, or are you a fan of professional wrestling? Because if you're a fan of professional wrestling and the business and the people as a whole, why wouldn't you want to support it in all these different avenues? You know what I'm saying? So I think it would make sense when Edge is done with this run to go to AEW and to do a little something with Christian, even if they're the head of some factions that are fighting each other or something. That would be cool to see.
I gotta disagree with you, homeboy.
Big shock and awe.
I don't want to see it. I mean,
why?
It would be nice to see him reunited with Christian. Don't get me wrong; they were a great team, but I would like to see my man just carry out his last years in WWE.
Why?
I'm just saying, man. You can write your own. My man was off for a decade. He could have gone anywhere.
And he still can't go anywhere. So why would you limit him like that? He chose to come back
to WWE for a reason.
But being a fan of Edge means that you want whatever he wants. And if he wants to spread his legacy along other brands.
I think he's a loyalist to WWE. No. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, maybe he is, but I just don't see why you should be.
RB, you're right. I was a big fan of the Iconics. Love the fact that they got the championships, and it was a waste. But again, goes into the waste of the women's division. Change comes with sacrifice. Let's just look at not only in the WWE, but just in the world, right? You want something to change that you don't feel is right. You have to stand up for what you feel you need to do. And in this instance, they felt like as tag team champions, as female performers, they were not being utilized and done right. And I can't be mad at that.
What was that
as a
supposed to look
company,
like?
you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, as a performer, like I said, the WWE is the kind of company where I've said, if you're going to job to the gobbledygooker, if you're going to job to Lil Jimmy, this is what you're going to do in the WWE.
Did you hear Lil Jimmy was taking Stephanie McMahon's place?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From a performer standpoint, that's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense in a storytelling fashion. But that's how WWE is. So for me, it's a twofold situation. You knew what this was. You know what WWE is. And you know that this is the way they do business. So either go along or walk out the door. It's a tough.
It's what they did. They walked out the door.
It's a tough thing to. I don't know. What do y'all say about that? Lana put through a table 10 times. No payoff for Lana. Exactly. That was trash.
I saw someone else say that she was lucky to have a job. She wasn't that bad. They made her look bad, and she let them make her look bad. And of course, she wasn't nearly. She was playing the role they asked her. And the reason we know that is because when she played the adulterer, she did that well, and everybody hated her. And when she was the sexy Russian spokesperson for Rusev, she did that well, and she sounded powerful, and she was great. They were great. They should have never broke that up. So to me, it wasn't that Lana sucked, because she had potential. She had, come on, they gave Eva Marie a real shot.
Yeah.
And like I said, Natalya is not great. So, I know a lot of you guys get offended when we say that, but her matches are, they'll be like, "Oh, you had a good match. We're happy for you." But it's not consistent. Okay. And at the end of the day, it really seemed like they were punishing her the same way that he got into it with the Fiend over creative differences, and they buried the Fiend. And that was a big FU to us, because we didn't want to see that.
That's about the size of it. That's about the size of it. Do we think they're going to retire the titles? The
tag team titles?
I hope not.
No.
I really hope
no way.
I don't want to see it happen.
No, you have women walking out because they're protesting the way that they're being treated. You would not retire the titles as a response to that. You would get such backlash. That would be, their business sense can't be that horrible.
I see Karrion Kross and Scarlett have unfinished business in WWE.
The fact that you would bring him up, and Scarlett was the bomb. And then you bring him up without her, you do it completely wrong. Bring him up to lose to John. It was so bad.
Your first match, you lost.
And you don't bring her up. It was so bad. You just ruined him, and then you fire them like they did something wrong.
Yeah, we're tired of
seeing that is crazy.
NXT people get called up just to get beat down and then can. And here you go with LA Knight. LA Knight. There was nothing wrong with the name LA Knight. He was fine the way he was. Now he's on Smackdown, and he's a male model agent, and his name is now Max Dupree.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Okay.
Did we really need to do that? Did we really need to go there? This is what I'm saying. This is what WWE is. And for whatever reason, they're on a renaming kick right now. But it's just like, hey, we're going to give you any kind of wild, crazy nonsense, and you're just going to go with it. That's WWE.
Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, their title run in NXT was so sweet. And we loved that tank. How dare you take away her tank, change her name, get rid of Ember Moon, and just leave us with this bull crap. But we're stuck with Doudrop, who
don't even know what to do with Doudrop.
They don't know what to do with her.
You don't know what's going on.
And then you have the almost superhero. It's just
don't sleep on the kids' age now. Dang. Upstairs. All right, we got a couple more super chats up in here. My man, King X Neptune, thank you so much for that
King
super
X
chat.
Neptune.
And you say, I think WWE should have an off season, just like every other sport. It gives wrestlers more time at home and more
Do some reruns.
Planning. I mean,
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea because it's brutal.
You make a good point.
Putting your bodies on the line year round like that. They don't get like holidays off. Man, that's brutal.
I would actually not so much want to see it off season. I think some of the main people should have some time off. Like there should be a switch off. Like here's the B team. Here's the B
go
roster.
And come back. But in WWE, when you go and come back, they feel like they have to reinvent you every time, which is crazy because when the people from the day of old come back, they don't come back as someone new. They come back as who you loved. So why is it that you move people up that we love from NXT and then you take away what we loved? And then people go and get hurt. And when they come back, they can't come back as the same person because you got to start over. What are you starting over for? They just got injured. You just bring them back. It's weird.
Thank you, King X Neptune.
Thank you, King X.
We appreciate that. And I see another super chat all up in here. Hold on one second.
Dang, super chat in the house.
Kennedy. What up, Kennedy Moody? Thank you so much for that super chat. WWE should never have publicly say that Sasha Banks and Naomi a disappointment for what they did. They literally need more women in the tag division.
They need more women in all the divisions. The fact that you got rid of your roster, you have like 6 women on each show. And then you want to come out and you want to speak out about how they disappointed you. Clearly, you disappointed them too, and many, many, many of your fans. So they don't want to take any responsibility for what caused them to walk out in the first place. And I don't really, that just sounds like Vince wrote that for him.
Now, granted, when you go to pay your hard-earned money to buy a ticket to a show and you see the card, you expect to see this card play out.
True story.
The fine print usually says card subject to change.
Always says it, yeah.
And that is the sucky part. When you are going there to see something and it doesn't happen, that's bad enough. When you realize the reasons for that is because you felt like you as a performer and as a champion were not being taken seriously. I think the bigger picture for me is, again, going back to the women's division, especially the tag division, and these women tag team championships. They were never treated seriously right out of the gate. They had to be defended across all 3 brands. And then NXT finally got their own set of women's tag team championships, which Toxic Attraction currently holds, unless something changed. And so you still have the women defending it between 2 different brands. Not in any way, shape, or form on par with the men.
Well, it will be
not
now.
The same. Well,
they're unifying everything now, so we won't be able to say that anymore.
Don't even know what that is all about. Are they going to change the belt?
They're downsizing.
Whatever. So, I mean, it sucks that what you are showing us in 2022, that you are not, especially on the main roster. NXT, not so much. They do utilize their women probably a lot more than they do on the main roster. But on the main roster, the women are not taken as seriously as the men.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. And that is
because Stone Cold said so.
I don't think he did.
No?
I don't think he did. You want
to
go back to the Attitude Era. They did some things you can't do anymore. And that's on point right there. Is this a new super chat? I think it's a new super chat. Hold on. New super chat, Kennedy Moody.
Oh, okay.
Come on now.
What's up, Kennedy?
Kennedy. I love it, Kennedy. WWE also removed Sasha and Naomi from the WWE intro and were replaced by Rhea Ripley and Cody Rhodes.
Damn.
It was bad enough you removed their merch. See, at this point, I refuse to accept this being a work.
You removed your own. You removed their merch, but you're making money off of that.
But you're going to make a point. I think Vince right now, every once in a while, we know Vince and WWE is all about the bottom line and making money. But there's one more thing, a little more powerful than money, or maybe just as equal.
Pride?
That is ego and pride, yes.
Okay, go ahead and say it in the Vince voice. I'm going to show them. Walk out on me.
Show them. I fired my son. My fruit of my loins, fired. And yet somehow Sasha Banks and Naomi is going to have a little more stroke than Shane McMahon. That's what I'm saying. At this point, and I think, was it Bailey? Somebody, it might have been just Alex, where basically anyone is expendable. So it's really a question of you want to play ball, but you also don't want to have your, like you work hard to build up your credibility. And you don't want that credibility shot. You work hard for the money. That's all I'm saying. So hard. So they have nothing to lose by walking out. You're making a statement. Clearly, people are on both sides of the fence. We feel some type of way, one way or the other. But I think at the end of the day, you have to make a statement. Now, whether or not that statement is going to do anything in WWE is a whole other.
It's bringing a whole bunch of attention to the women's roster.
It has to. Something had to, because every week we watch it and we're just like, what is going on? Like, I'm still waiting for that Ronda Rousey apology. She spit on the whole industry. She did. She shat on it. She pulled her little pants down and took a dump on professional wrestling. And then she pulled it up. I'm not even sure if she wiped. Point is, it stunk. And I'm still waiting for that apology. But yet now she's your SmackDown Women's Champion. That metaphor
is
that might have been a bit much.
That's a bit much.
But she's your SmackDown Women's Champion. Why? Because of the money. Not because she loves the business. That if that doesn't show you what Vince and company feel about the women's division, I don't know what. And now at a time when Stephanie McMahon, who really should have been taking the helm on the women's division, is now taking a leave of absence and focus on her family.
I wonder if it's coincidence or if she does not agree with her dad on this.
I mean, it's possible. I don't agree.
Just saying.
I don't agree. I think it's trash. I think it's complete trash. But, man, what are you going to do? I think I see another. Did I see another super chat right there? Do I see another super chat? Oh,
where?
Hang on. Right there. Kennedy Moody.
Dang, Kennedy.
Kennedy, we appreciate it. No, seriously. This is a big deal to us because way too often we see super chats. Well, we watch a lot of different channels, and super chats will be given, and far too often it's just not taken as seriously as it is. You're giving your hard-earned money.
We appreciate
to support the channel, so we do not take it lightly, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We
acknowledge you, Kennedy.
You say they literally doing the same thing they did when Stone Cold walked out by not wanting to work with Brock Lesnar. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
You gotta take a stand in order for change to happen. And it's difficult and it's painful, and you may lose some money, you may lose some sleep, you may lose some friends. But if you in your heart of hearts really feel like it's the right thing to do, it's not like a petty temper tantrum, then this is what you need to do. And Naomi supported her partner.
You know, they could have did what CM Punk did, and they could have dropped that crap in the middle of the ring and walked out and embarrassed everybody in the main event.
Well, I'm pretty sure at this point, with Michael Cole having buried them the way he did on camera, there's a part of them was like, we really should have did that. Like, we should have picked a spot and just in the 6-pack challenge, done a Alundra Blaze, got a trash can, threw it in the trash can, walked out the arena. Man. But I'm seeing way too many news outlets, legitimate, like the New York Post, like they're talking about this suspension. There's no way this is a work.
The New York Post is talking about the suspension.
So there's no way this is a work.
I'm just surprised. Thank you
very much.
I'm just surprised that they care about what's going on in wrestling world, but okay.
Yeah, interesting. Now you say this brought Sophie Dopey says this brought like a whole new war out for her. Yeah. Professional wrestling fans have been kind of on different sides of the argument here.
And there's no professional wrestlers that are backing them up from what I understand. I mean, obviously.
Not necessarily in WWE.
Obviously, Jimmy's backing his wife, you know what I mean? But there's nobody that's coming to their defense. But they ain't not trying to get on the boss's bad side.
Interesting question, Sophie Dopey. If you go to, I think Bailey tweeted, I think it was Twitter. I don't think it was Instagram, but she tweeted a picture of a hand. It looked like a black and white hand, and just kind of like holding, like we got you, like kind of pulling you up. I think that's all that needs to be said. I really do, because professional wrestling is a very unique industry.
Yeah.
And it's an industry that you generally
I
spend
didn't
more
know that she
time
did that.
with your fellow wrestlers than you do your own family.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, imagine if Naomi didn't go with Sasha. What kind of position would that have put Naomi in? Look at NXT and MSK. I mean, not to say that was a little different in that one person had to leave; they got fired. But I'm saying now you've got your tag team partner, just kind of like, now what do I do?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So I don't know. Should Naomi have gone? Should she have stayed?
Jedi Knight. We think, and this is just our opinion, that Triple H's health is not. They're not being forthright about his health. Him retiring and then her stepping down to be by his side. I know that he came out of his surgery, but I don't think he's doing great. Like, I think that it's time for them to just focus on him getting better, because to me, that's what that says. For him to retire and then her to step away to be with the family, I think he's not better.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't think he's well.
There's some other stuff going on. If you follow Triple H throughout his career, there's some people that have used certain enhancements.
Why we beat around the bush? Steroids are bad.
Yeah, this some things you just need to stay away from. You're gonna have a few good years, but those longer bad years, that's no.
Yeah.
Why should Shanley make a good point. This is the whole point. Naomi shouldn't pin Sasha. Sasha shouldn't pin Naomi. They should not have been in that 6-pack challenge to begin with.
Right. It's not like you couldn't have found 6 people. You have 6 people on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. Don't do it.
Wait, do they only have 6 people on the roster?
Yeah, well, they got the.
Oh yeah, no, they could have put 2 other people. I was trying to count. Yeah, so you could have left them out. But if they wanted to start breaking them up for some reason or causing some kind of tension, the same way they did with Bayley and Sasha, the reality is that they got a really, really good battle out of Bayley and Sasha. So maybe they were just trying to do the same thing, and maybe Sasha felt like it was too soon. I don't know.
Should have happened. Vince, I think, when this instance was wrong, and honestly, I think Vince.
You think it shouldn't have ever happened, or it should have happened this soon? You just think it should have happened this soon?
Way too soon.
Yeah.
We've seen many a tag team over the years have animosity. One is jealous. They eventually break them up. It happens all the time. I don't necessarily like it. I like a tag team to stay a tag team, but things happen. You just got these championship titles.
But tag teams also, devil's advocate, turn on each other all the time. You see them throw each other out of Royal Rumbles and still be okay. RKO has, Randy has RKO'd Bro on more than one occasion, but they didn't break up. They got through it. I'm just saying that it didn't have to be the end of the world. It could have been a little bit of tension. They could have worked through it. Then they could have
waited at least till SummerSlam, maybe even October. It's way too soon.
I wonder if the pin part was the last. You know how Vince comes in at the last minute to change stuff? I wonder if Vince came in to change it at the last minute, and then they were like, no.
I would totally agree with that.
Because otherwise, didn't you know that was the ending before you showed up?
Shouldn't have done it. And here we have Just Alex of Alex's World. We got to give a shout out to
Just Alex?
A safe space for wrestling fans like you and for like us. Brother Alex, thank you so much. Woo!
Woo!
Thank you for that love and support, brother. We can't thank you enough. And for those who haven't seen our 100 greatest old crap moments in WWE history, check that out. That is all due to Alex and Alex Music V3.
Yep.
So we appreciate you, Alex. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I know I saw. Hang on. I saw it.
I think it's down.
It might be. I saw it right there. Don't want to pass it. Another super chat in the house right there. King Neptune.
Dang, King Neptune.
There's one before it, but I'm going to get to that. King Neptune. Oh, man. Showing support and love.
Coming in strong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alexa tweeted today that she wants to start doing movies.
Well, wanting to start doing movies, and has she done anything acting outside of WWE? I don't personally feel like I don't blame her. I don't think she's gonna have the stronger run as she did when she was with the Fiend. But I, even though she did the possession and she did all the stuff she did, I don't see her as being a great actress.
She is a fan
That
of
doesn't
the
mean she can't.
horror genre.
Right.
And
Doesn't
I'm
mean she can't
excited
be.
to see what she can do. But I don't know if her heart 1000% is back in the ring yet. She still seems kind of
Her
not there.
debut match was booty stank. They gave her 90 seconds of Sonya jobbing. She did 3 moves. I don't care. Her re-debut was 90 seconds. She did 3 moves. And Sonya didn't even defend herself. It was the dumbest thing I've seen in a really, really long time. And I would not blame her if it left a really bad taste in her mouth, because it left a bad taste in mine.
We got Kayun in the house. And Brother Kayun, as you know, we apologize to you because you did, in fact, do a super chat in our last live. And we got out of the live right before we saw it. So we apologize to you.
We are sorry.
Thank you for that super chat. And thank you for this super chat, Kayun.
Thank you.
WWE has dropped the ball with Sasha and Naomi. Just whole lot of BS. And the fact that Cole said that Sasha and Naomi disappointed me, that's BS. That is facts. Hashtag facts.
Yeah. Cole, I don't think had any business. And I personally think he was told to say that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think he was told to say that.
Yeah, Vince definitely said, look, here's what you're going to do. You're going to bury him. And that's why we did the opening that we did. You're going to bury him alive with what you're going to say on commentary. And that's what it was. And again, I think they're entirely missing the point of what needed to be done. You are going to be, it's a twofold thing. You're going to be disrespected. So let's compromise. I think more than anything, they should have figured out a better way to do that 6-pack challenge. But it seemed like nobody was backing down.
Well, maybe if they removed our merch, maybe we should make some merch for people who support Sasha and Naomi on our site that people could purchase.
Okay, thank you, Michael. We appreciate that, and you are great as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
They're not fired.
No, they're suspended.
They're suspended. I think it would be colossal if, depending on what happens now, let's say their contracts expire and they do end up in AEW. I mean, do they really want that loss? Does WWE really want to take that hit? I don't know.
I wonder how Jimmy really felt behind doors. I wonder what that conversation looked like. If I could have been a fly on a wall to listen to Naomi and Jimmy have that conversation about her walking out on this, was it not the same night of the title match?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Brock. Now, Joe, you're asking Goldberg or Brock? Goldberg. He's asking for a world title shot to challenge. You know what? We don't even want to. I'm not mad at Goldberg,
I don't think that
but he needs to stop.
I don't know if they're going to recycle them to come back and do that. Like I said, I really do think that after he fights The Rock, that they're going to do him and Cody, and they're going to pass the title. If they do it before then, I would be shocked. But I don't think they're going to need to bring back Brock or Goldberg when you have Cody Rhodes now.
I don't think that Goldberg is doing anybody any favors at all. If you're not coming in and going to have a little run to just kind of do some matches, get some wins under the belt, I don't really see a point.
He didn't even get to really defend his son,
Didn't defend the son.
Like he was like, you touched my son, and then you still just got your butt kicked. So why'd your son get his little butt beat for?
Pointless.
Like, were they trying to introduce his son? Because unless his son is going to come out in a couple years jacked, like all mad.
Be a hook. Be a hook. That's fine. We would love to see it, but we don't want to see you coming out getting beat down.
Nobody wants to see
just
that.
For what? You don't need to put anybody over anymore. You just don't. You just don't. Ali who? Who? Oh, you mean Free Ali? Hashtag Free Ali? Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
They wouldn't let him go. And what for what? For what?
And now you destroy. Might as well put him back in Retribution. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Retribution was not. It started off interesting. It turned out to be complete trash.
Complete.
The way they
trash.
are treating Ali is complete trash. This is what we're saying about storytelling. We went on a whole thing about Marvel the other day and how one movie affects another, and it's all about the storytelling. You can't have a character that we know to be a certain way turned on his head just because.
Retribution was so bad, it actually ruined the careers of everyone in it.
It was.
I mean, your faction was so bad that all 5 people.
AEW versus WWE War. I mean, they kind of had it. Honestly, NXT, they had to move their whole show, pack up their whole show, go to a whole different night. I mean,
they should have left it there.
They shouldn't have never brought it. I think NXT was fine the way that it was. The fact that you brought it on TV was questionable, but
I love that they brought it on TV. But I
yeah, it's fine. But look what ended up happening.
But the fact that every time something falls a little short of your expectations, you're just like scrap, trash it, start over. What?
And that's the problem. This was a love child birthed from Triple H.
We miss Black and Gold. We ain't even gonna lie.
That was just raised up, and then it was handed over to Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and he just trashed it. He just trashed it. We're gonna bring you up. We're gonna put you over here on Raw. We're gonna put you on SmackDown. You know what? None of this is working. Everything was working over here. Everything we all loved about you. None of this is working. You know what? You're fired. Get out.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and change this Black and Gold. Let's get some paint colors in here.
Speaking of gold, we got a gold super chat right there.
King X Neptune right in the house. Thank you so much, King X Neptune, for showing that love. Alexa tweeted today that she wants to start doing movies. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, I think
I don't know when her contract is up, but I for sure don't expect her to re-sign. I think that her re-debut match, I would have been, and not only that, how the hell does Sonya feel about that? How do you feel about being in the 90-second jobber match where you didn't even throw a hit?
Trash.
I mean, I guess Bianca could tell her.
How do we feel about, Nikki Cross, like crazy Nikki Cross? She's never been a fan of Nikki Cross, period. I mean, you can't like everybody. We understand. But the superhero bit, not working. At least she was like on fire. At least, okay, hey.
Are you done talking about Nikki Cross?
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
sorry.
about.
I fell asleep.
Good question, Jody.
I got sleepy.
Good question. Hold on one second. I see another super chat up in here. Oh, there we go. What up, Bill Terrell? A new subscriber.
Woo!
Welcome to the family. Thank you so much, and thank you for that super chat love.
Yes.
I'm okay with the unification match, but why did they seemingly bury RK Bro? Yeah, they got beat down.
Yeah, but I don't know that they buried them, because burying them probably would have been a clean cut match where they just got beat outright. The fact that they had Roman and Paul interfere actually looked worse on the Usos than it did on RK Bro, because they made it seem like RK Bro was strong enough to beat the Usos on their own. And by having Paul and Roman interfere, you're almost co-signing, they could only do it with Roman's help or with interference or by cheating. So I personally don't feel like they buried them. I feel like they buried the Usos, even though they got the gold, because to me, you made the Usos look like they couldn't do it, which I didn't appreciate. But that's just how I see it. How do you see it?
I gotta disagree with you, homeboy.
Shock and awe. I am in shock and awe.
I think, Shayla, and we're gonna be here. You made a good point. They are heels. This is what heels do.
Right.
This is what heels do to win by any means necessary.
But by any means necessary kind of insinuates that they couldn't. And I think that they can do it on their own accord. Because I'm a fan of the Usos and they are good.
Is this when an asterisk in the history books Yes. Yes, it is. But it is what it is.
Right.
I think the question now, like you said, what is to come of RK Bro?
Well, I have heard. I heard talk of Randy retiring.
I don't see it.
I just said what I heard. I didn't say what I see. I said what I heard.
Thank you for that super chat.
Thank
Welcome
you
to the channel.
Welcome to the
Everybody
channel.
Everybody give him some big love. Thank you very, very much for that. Eric Browers, they got suspended because they walked out of Monday Night Raw.
Put their titles on the belt and walked out before the main event.
They
left them without a main event.
Yeah, they were pissed about creative direction, and that was that. I'm sure.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of story like in between missing.
Yes, I'm saying.
We have no idea what conversations took place.
And Friday night, there were some phone calls. There were probably some texts, probably some emails. I'm sure something went down, but WWE had to do something. Like they had to show some strength.
Yeah, because if you're thinking or asking Vince to bow down, Vince wasn't going to bow down in his prime. You think he's going to bow down in his old age?
Not now.
No,
it's not going to happen. Interesting. You think that they're saving Cody and Roman for Survivors? Yeah, that could be. That very well could be. I wouldn't be surprised if they do in fact save that for them. And now we get a huge super chat. Oh wait, before we do that, Roland Bird. What's up, Roland?
What's up, Roland?
It's good to see you over here.
Good to see you.
Big super chat from Sean Steigers.
That is
I hope
a
I'm
big
pronouncing
super
that last
name
name right.
You know what? Let's give you 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Wait. Woo!
You say, I support Sasha and Naomi, but I'm not on either side. I just hope they come to an agreement to stay together. Even if you don't like WWE's decision making, they're under a contract. This is McDonald's. Blessings to y'all. Man, that's a well put.
For real, much respect to you for that, because you really kind of usually see people just one side or the other. And like I said early on, for those of you who missed it, I do the devil's advocate thing as much as I can. I try to see both sides of the story and I try to explain both sides of the story. I completely see why you would protect your brand. We have a brand now where this is our retirement plan. This is our future. This is what we want to do. We take this channel very seriously. So if we were in a contract with someone and we felt like our brand was being threatened, we would not just walk out without trying to negotiate, but we don't know that didn't happen. But we would protect our brand at all costs. This is our lives here, right? But we also are grown-ups and professionals. And if we are in a contract with someone and we're having business dealings, I believe that we would try our best to be loyal and faithful, to see through and work things through. So we completely agree with you. Well, at least I completely agree with you. I can't speak for him because he'd be trying to disagree with me whenever he can.
You said some things. We appreciate that.
And blessings back at you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Like she said, blessings back to you. Thank you for that super chat. Wow. Big deal right there.
Appreciate you.
Like Bobby. I mean, the Almighty isn't quite the Almighty right now, is he?
And it's crazy because he's fighting a giant. And he's fighting MVP. So MVP is still in the picture. We loved MVP with Bobby. They're bringing Cedric back into the picture. So they kind of have some of the Hurt Business. I don't know why they didn't bring. Is Shelton out injured?
He might be.
He might be out injured because I haven't seen him. But like, you kind of have some of the same players. And then you have him facing a giant, which, by the way, they keep saying the Nigerian giant. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not just have a Nigerian prince fighting last year, and you had this random giant next to him who did not turn out to be that strong, and then you have your Nigerian giant behind AJ Styles? Who raised you? Why did you write that? Why was your Nigerian giant not with your Nigerian prince? That would have made sense. But anyway, I digress. I still am a big fan of Bobby. I don't know why this storyline is not working.
Yeah, I don't like him just kind of eking a victory by kind of like a fluke way. I mean, it's kind of funny and it's okay in some instances, but you don't spend all this time building up this man to call him the Almighty, to be the WWE champion. You finally got a faction in the Hurt Business that we all liked. You destroy that, and for whatever reason, like you said, you just kind of keep bringing Cedric and Shelton back for no good reason.
Well, they tried to give Cedric a push, and nobody.
They keep getting like it's nonsense.
But here's the other thing: who else could almost even fight? Who can even hang with? He is the only person on the roster, unless you were to bring Brock Lesnar back, that could hang with Omos.
Here's what I'm saying. We reacted to, again, shout out to Alex Music B3, 100 Vader's Unsung Moments. We have seen Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin get down. We know they are better than what we've seen in the ring as of late. What I'm saying I would like to see is, like you said, we had, in fact, a Nigerian prince in Apollo. Now you got this Nigerian giant. There can only be one. I say we get a Nigerian war. You got your Commander Aziz over here and Omos. Like there's some legit storytelling that can be done that's just not being done. And so they're not being used. And I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. It seems very obvious.
WWE, if you would like to hire us as writers for your show, we're open to the idea.
You're open to the idea because
we actually know the product and we understand what people want.
Isaiah, we did not react to the Bloodline promo segment. We did catch it, but because we knew we were going live today, we really only had time to do a couple of reactions. So we hope you guys caught those.
Yeah, we're actually doing less reactions to go live more because the time that he spends editing, we would not be able to go live.
But WWE's been a little funky lately.
Yes, he could edit to the cows come home, and you could barely see or hear, and we still get a copyright somehow.
So if you notice, the videos that we are reacting to are a little harder to see because they're kind of transparent and it's behind the filter. It's really because WWE has been cracking down on reactioners, and just because somebody hasn't gotten hit yet doesn't mean they won't. And we've said it several times. We've gotten copyrighted, but not a strike. A strike is like in baseball.
3 strikes, you're out. And when you're out, you're out. We could have 1 million subscribers and they will cancel your channel and you have no say, you have no nothing, you're just screwed. So
you make a good point. Reality creator, 666, no, don't believe. That's a
heck of a name.
Yeah, I like that. Ken Terminated by DQ, great name as well. But I did see a couple other super chats in here.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. Hello, Ken. It's good to see it. Wow, we got some people in here. Dro, you are.
Maybe we need to make Saturday night a normal thing. Saturday Night Live up in the house.
Okay, let me ask you this question before we get to the super chats, because Dro, you've asked this question. Does anybody want to see John Cena back in the ring? Anybody? Is anybody? Because my thing is, I don't want to see the part-timers and retirees come back to try to save the day. It never works in the long run. So does anybody really legitimately want to see Cena back?
I don't think that we need to go backwards. I think that there's plenty of talent out there that are full-time wrestlers who can use that shot. I mean, first of all, look at Brody Lee. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace.
AEW let him come in and do his thing, and he was a headliner, right? And the problem is the WWE doesn't, they may recognize talent, but they don't know how to make headliners all the time. Now, if they could lower the pride scale a little bit and let the superstars have some say in their creative, these problems, like they had with Sasha and Naomi, would not be like this.
Yeah.
But you're just like, we know all. You have nothing to say, even though it's you, your brand, your career. And you really can't treat people like that. And the reason that everyone goes to AEW and can't wait to go to AEW, and why some NXTers are like, no, I'd rather sign there, is because AEW was like, what do you want to see happen? What is your dream? What is your vision? Go on and do it. That's a big deal. And you have people like Jericho who are like, you know what? Let me help bring these people up. Jericho does the factions because he wants to help get these people started, get them up there, jumpstart them, and then let them go. That's what he's doing. He's said that time and time again. He's like, you know what? When he first came up, when he first started the new faction, I mean, he was like, okay, well, so they break it off so that now we've all come up. I'm gonna send you off. Go ahead and fly, and now I'm gonna replace you with some young, fresh talent. And that's what you want to see, wrestlers trying to help each other succeed. That's why Christian is there. That's why Big Show is there, because they want to help young new talent succeed. And I feel like WWE is just trying to figure out how to make money instead of actually see these people as people and help them succeed, which in turn they're happy and they're going to help your brand be better.
Is that so difficult to understand? Like, we're all in the same team here. Let's help each other win. Let's help build up these divisions. And it just isn't happening.
Right.
It's more than anything feeding. Now, no place is 100% perfect. So we're not saying AEW is like Xanadu.
I mean, Cody just left to come back, so we're not saying that at all. I was just giving an example.
Exactly. Arcel World, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you in here. And thank you for showing love to Ken, terminated by DQ. That's really cool. We do have a super chat, another super chat with King X Neptune. Thank you very
King.
Much for that.
Appreciate it.
Rock literally threw the title events. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But again, here we are. We have Rock throw the title events. We've seen Bret Hart literally spit on Vince. Bret Hart helped build WWE into what it was in the 90s, early mid-90s. He wanted to retire the way he wanted to retire. And they had agreed to this. And Vince screwed him. The Montreal screw job, we all know about it. But he couldn't even let him have that. He was so pissed he spit on the man.
I mean, and most of the wrestlers of old like him talk about that. Basically, you sit there and you give your all, and when you're done, they just take you out to the back and shoot you. Like, you know, like they have unless you're the Undertaker
or
the Rock. You know what I mean? There's certain people.
But this is what I'm saying. Here we are in 2022, still talking about Vince stuck in his ways of it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
What does it take? So
which is why they'll never hire us as writers.
I get that as tag team champions, if you feel like you are being disrespected and not utilized correctly, you need to say something and you feel like I got to take a stand. Sasha felt like she needed to take a stand. Totally get it. But you also know the history of Vince.
But would Sasha have felt that way if it was written for her to pin Naomi?
I say yes. I say yes.
I think the people who don't support him, who think that Sasha is got a big ego and is a diva, feel otherwise. Feel like this is just because it was her getting pinned more so than standing up for them as a team.
Could be.
But who knows?
Will Orton beat Roman?
I mean,
okay, Sophie,
I could see why they would have. So the way that this went down, and they're assaulting Randy and Bro after, I could see Randy being the next contender for that title. Absolutely. And if Randy really is talking about retiring, are they going to give him one last run?
But are you saying they're going to break up RK Bro then? Are you saying they are no longer a tag team?
What are you going to be a tag team for? If the title, you already lost the titles, what would be the point?
They're so good. I mean, you have Alpha Academy, who are no longer tag team champions, but yet they're good as a tag team. Like, I love them as a tag team.
No, I get you, but that doesn't mean that Bro can't stand behind him as he goes after the title.
But what's the point? You should go after your own title. You can't just be. He's not like we did Happy Gilmore. He's not the golf bag carrier.
Well, the reality is that
he's not the caddy.
I don't think they're going to do any of that until they are we not going to get them battling each other?
I don't know. It depends. Right now, if I were RK Bro, I would want vengeance against that beatdown. I would want vengeance against that loss that we suffered at the hands of the tribal chief.
Right.
He interfered in the match.
Yeah.
I mean, they're heels. I get it. But come on now. Come on now. And I'll tell you what. If it wasn't for, I think, did Orton RK Bro, was it Jimmy? And then Jay? I forget who it was. I think it might have been Jimmy.
I think it was.
Right? Because you typically do not kick out on the RKO. So I think they were really close to winning that match if it hadn't been for. But that's who can say? Who can say? I think I saw another super chat in here. What up, KU?
Coming in. KU.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I heard that Roman had 3 matches with Matt, Randy, and Drew at the UK show. Roman could lose against Drew because it's a UK show. He will lose to Cody at Royal Rumble. It's possible. It's possible. But WWE has a history of having people lose, like when it's televised,
in their
in their hometown or their own country. Interesting point. I wonder if they'll do it. I don't know.
I
know kind of thought Drew. I don't know. If
but I really thought him and Drew were going to have a little run right after this last, pay-per-view, but then Drew just went away.
I wouldn't mind seeing Drew wear the belt one more time. I think we will definitely see him become champion again. But what are we talking about? How long now that the Usos have all the gold? How long are they going to carry this gold?
Right.
Who's going to challenge? Is it only going to be the pay-per-view? What are we talking about? What's the long-term goal here?
Right.
I don't know.
Those are the questions.
But thank you, Kayun, for that. What up, Kaleo Does Everything? Good to see you. Where you been at?
What's that?
Oh,
doing everything. What you mean?
Almost as terrible. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, they almost as strong. And actually, believe it or not, he can wrestle. But we need to see him against a big show. Well, I'm saying, he could wrestle more than the great Khali could.
Well, he could.
That's what I'm saying. So they have a history of having giants that, even Andre the Giant, but towards the end, he could barely move too. So they have a history of having giants that weren't great wrestlers. Omos can actually move and do some moves. But yet, he's just not, you just don't care. Would you even notice if he didn't come out? But you would love to see him go against, the world's strongest man back in the day. Yeah. You would love to see him go against Big Show back in the day. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not working.
You could be right, Sophie. They could be setting Bobby up for something big during the summer. What that is, I don't know. I hope it's not to jog or go crazy. Yeah, okay. You weren't supposed to see that. I was going to try to see. She didn't know. No, Jody, she did not know that Johnny showed AEW. I was saving that. And you weren't supposed to read
I love Johnny Morrison.
Yeah, he's Johnny Elite.
Johnny Elite, yes.
Johnny Elite.
Yes.
You haven't seen that yet.
I hadn't seen it yet, but
Spoiler.
Yes.
So he's back. Bill Terrell, you got a super chat in here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
appreciate
you,
Bill.
Appreciate this. Sasha is a massive star. People don't understand her star power. Why do you think they only got suspended and not fired? WWE can't lose her to AEW. This is true. Like we said, WWE has to show some strength.
Who says she's not already talking to AEW? Her contract's up in a few months.
You can't. Contract. You can't.
You can have a conversation with anyone you want to.
The Seinfeld episode. We're talking, but we're not talking.
Yeah, we're just gonna have a cup of coffee.
Yeah. No, she is a massive star. You're absolutely right. Naomi being part, of the bloodline by marriage, but nobody. I'm telling you, you fired a McMahon. Fired. How do you do that? That's crazy to me. That just says to me that nobody is safe. Shane has been with this company from the beginning. He's had some of the most amazing matches.
Oh, he put his body on the line to the end.
When you hear that music, here comes the money. I mean, before the whole Braun Strowman stupid.
That was really stupid. But at the end of the day, man,
the people blew
the things that Shane
did.
I mean, you would see the Undertaker giving him much respect at the end of the match. Like, dude, are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of people who don't respect that. A lot of people who say that people like him and Cody, who put their bodies on the line, are doing it because they just want attention and can't wrestle, which I don't agree with. But
whatever. Do what you got to do.
I mean, they're going to make it into the holy old shirt moments. So,
but you make a good point. I mean, she is a massive star.
She is.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But what is going to happen from here? They're suspended indefinitely. We've seen the suspensions last like a week. I'm really wondering how long this is going to be.
Do you think, side note, do you think MJF is coming to WWE?
I do not. Thank you very much.
You don't?
Chat. Let me tell you why.
I think it was always his plan.
MJF, no, I do not. Because like I showed you, he was once upon a time in WWE.
Yes.
As a nothing.
As
like a security guard.
Right.
He knows how. Let me tell you why. He knows how WWE works because he's already been there. Everybody sees what WWE has been doing lately over the last few years.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would intentionally want to come there thinking that you can possibly write your ticket like a Cody Rhodes.
Because he is huge in AEW. He is.
Yeah.
And Cody did go over there, and if he can't work it out with AEW, you don't think he wanted his shot in WWE. He didn't get it, and now he will have a chance for it. Why wouldn't he come back? The same reason Cody went back.
I don't see it.
What do y'all think?
I don't see it. Reality, you think that Mercedes Varnado is about to go to 8. Wowzers. I mean, it's possible. Xavier, hang on. Did I see your birthday? Xavier Wallace, did you say it was your birthday? Do I want to miss you, brother? I don't want to miss you. I think you said, yeah.
You can read scrolling.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday, Xavier.
Happy birthday to you.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Hey!
All right. Show some birthday love to Xavier. Yeah, I think that's about. You guys would put a hell of a show if you were the writers, really. Safe Emerald Armor, we couldn't agree with you more.
Thank you.
But thank you for that. No, we have some really good ideas, as do you.
Yeah.
How is it that we, the fans, are able to write better than the so-called professionals? Because we know the stories. We are invested in the people. We're invested in the characters.
People power.
People power. And yet WWE, but I know we're still here watching the product, hoping it'll get better. I don't know.
I know, we're just watching, like, please get better.
But more than anything, I think to kind of wrap up with Sasha and Naomi, I think that is the issue is there's a bigger situation going on in WWE that needs to be addressed, that I think is being brought to light. And I think it's a shame because they did do what they did privately. Like, they went backstage, they weren't all big, like you said, they didn't go out to the ring and do anything crazy. It was done behind the scenes. It was really WWE, like, all this stuff kind of came out and you made these announcements, and then you decide to say what you say on Smackdown. And that didn't need to happen. So I think more than anything, there's a question, and it really kind of sucks to see that Stephanie didn't really. If she could have take the reins more so with the women's division than what was had, and there was a lack
before she decided to take time off with the family. We're not down on her for that.
With the women's division, that is the biggest problem. That they just don't care like they should.
I still maintain that Stephanie gave the women's division this huge push and gave them their own pay-per-view, changed the title, changed their name, blah, blah, blah. And not all the women delivered on the same level. And so, when you have some of your women wrestling like they're running a routine backstage, like they're practicing, and we're like, you have stupid ass characters like Nikki ASH, and then you have really good like Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. Whether you want to hate her or love her, you feel some type of way, and she is good. And that match with Rhea showed that, right? And then you have Sasha, and you have Bayley, and you have people who put their bodies on the line, who get out there and fight like the men fight, and they don't care if they're bleeding, they don't care if they get hurt. You look at Bianca, but you don't have everyone on that level on the roster. You have some divas still, even though you say it's not a diva roster. So
that's supposed to be.
I feel like they were very inconsistent, and that when that didn't work, I think Vince was like, "Oh, I gave the women a shot, they failed," and then he just moved on.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Isaiah asked a very poignant question.
What's up, Isaiah?
I think we all know the answer to that one.
What movie is funnier, Friday or White Chicks? Oh my gosh, is that a competition? I didn't know that was a competition.
Great.
Why every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, and the gosh darn refrigerator, eating up all the hog maws, all the pig feet. I like hog maw. I want some pig feet.
Yeah, that doesn't answer your question. I don't know why, because we love Friday. We watch it every single time it comes on.
But we're also from the 90s. Like we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah,
so that's kind of like a time capsule for us as well. Like we had the home phone on the wall that you had to go answer and someone could hang up.
What a real deal. I would love the Iconics to come back. I don't know if they ever will.
Nah, WWE did them so dirty. WWE knew they had them on a work visa, and they couldn't. When they fired them, they couldn't work until they got sponsored. It was a whole thing. I don't think they would come back.
Mary, you said John Cena's better in Hollywood.
I agree.
We're fine with that.
Doing his
you
thing.
Did your time. You did your bid.
Thing. I mean, and I know there's a lot of John Cena fans out there, and it's not that I wasn't one, but he wasn't the greatest wrestler.
No.
Sorry.
Oh,
he's strong.
Snap. Shayla's talking about Rock coming back in the corner of Solo Sequoia. Look, we said it. We've said it. You talk about the bloodline.
That would be so crazy.
They have not utilized the bloodline to their fullest potential across the brands.
Because, think about this though. They could even do the same thing if they wanted to, they could actually do that with the bloodline come out, Solo comes out, and then the twins go to their brother and turn on Roman.
Well, how about this? There is like Yoda said in Return of the Jedi, there is another. The Rock's daughter is there.
Bring her in the bloodline.
I don't know what her skill level is at this point. What I do know
but they haven't even debuted her yet.
That's what I'm saying. She should show up in Solo's corner.
I think the fact that they put Solo in NXT was stupid, because at the end of the day, he was not new to wrestling. He was very experienced, very successful outside of WWE, and he did not need to go to junior high. He was gifted and should have skipped the line like a lot of people do. They bring in people left and right that we never saw in NXT. They should have brought him straight in.
The bloodline is not being used the way they could, not to their full potential. And that is a shame for us. The Bella Twins, we were shocked to see them back. And
I mean, they said they had another run, but they all say that. So
more than anything Brie does. Nikki, her neck, I don't know. How long of a run are we really talking about?
But it was great to see them. They did great.
They did. They were
didn't miss
fantastic. But are we talking a long run? Again, are you talking about bringing people from yesteryear in to save the day?
I'm telling you.
How long is that going to last?
I'm telling you, they're at dinner with mom and stepdad. John's like, what do you guys think about coming back and taking the title run? Go ahead, say it in his voice.
I don't. I don't want to say that.
Now go all the way to the bottom. Make sure we didn't miss any super chats.
No, I'm seeing some people here. I saw what's up because then it just kind of jumps.
Yeah, so, sometimes it does jump, and we want to make sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think that's about it for this. We just wanted to see what you guys thought about the whole situation with Sasha and Naomi being suspended. It's a lot. This is a lot to take in. I think there's a bigger issue at hand here, and I think more than anything, what is the lesson that is going to be learned by the superstars?
I do think Cody's going to win the Money in the Bank. Yes, go ahead.
I don't know.
What if Cody wins the Money in the Bank?
I don't know.
And then The Rock pins Roman, but then Cody comes out and pins The Rock.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, The Rock coming back is fine. I have no issues with this.
But you're not going to give him the title because he doesn't go here.
I'm fine with him getting the title. But you got to run it back like he did with Cena. It's got to be at least 2 times. It has to be done right. And at this level, at this point that The Rock is in, plus keep in mind, the XFL is premiering next year as well. So he's going to have his hands full.
Right. He doesn't have time. I mean, he just doesn't.
He's doing reshoots for Black
Adam.
Adam.
He's like the biggest star in the world.
Like, he's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to do this, man, like, you gotta do it right. I don't know. Thank you, Real Deal. So I think that's it for us. Thank you guys for joining us and talking about this. You guys always showed up. I got to be honest with you. I keep saying it. I never think.
No, he doesn't. He has faith in you guys.
But thank you. Thank you to all the super chatters.
Thank you.
That showed and supported us the way that you did, and to our members as well. If the stream was a little choppy,
we apologize.
At first, we are using a new internet service provider. We will
try and avoid that, but yeah.
And we'll figure that out. Thank you, Shayla. Thank you, everybody. Mary, Jaden.
Thank you.
Everybody that just
Isabella, Sean, everybody.
We will be going
Jody.
live more and more and more as we go on. Because,
good night, Jedi.
like you said, the reactions, we love them. We know you love them. WWE's been a little funky, and they've been pulling some stuff. And
it's funner to interact with you guys and hear your input back anyway.
We do. So
maybe we'll make this Saturday night thing a regular thing.
We're good, Diego Rosales, and we are just about ready to get out of here. Please come back for some more A&B combos.
Wrestling edition.
Thank you so much. She's not feeling 100% right now, not COVID related. Bone Crusher is asleep on the floor.
She was over it.
But she thanks you for all the love and support, and we really appreciate and love each and every one of you guys so much. That is it. We are out. I think nothing more.
Nothing more.
Nothing more. Good night.
Good night.